Right, can we start with the salawat, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, so we're going to start with what we normally do, journaling, which we've been doing for the past, I think this is week 14, if I'm not mistaken. You all know the introduction to journaling. You've got the tools, the colors, the ruler, the sharp pencil, and the eraser. Okay, that's the color directory. It's a good idea to know this because at one stage, I don't know whether we will have life until then, but we can actually build the city and you will see the different colors or you will see the different sections in the city. I'll try and get Lego so you can build it like we did for the teachers, and it's quite a lot of fun. Plus you will learn as you go do it. So it's a good idea to know the color directory. That obviously is a QR code which you can take later on. We will do the Quran city map at some stage. I think in the month of Ramadan. If I'm not mistaken, we've got 2 weeks in the month of Ramadan during, during Darsa time. So maybe that's a good time to go over the whole thing. So we're going to carry on for the first 2 weeks, same time. Well, I don't know what time Darsa is. I think 7:30? Okay, we'll find out, and next week I'll announce it. I'll make sure it's, I'll make sure I'll put it on the group as well. You've got the Quran City Gates, the network, which is M14, the only way to get there. And this is something that I think we tried to, you've got stickers, so hopefully you've memorized it. وَالْزَمْ قَلْبِي حِفْظَ كِتَابِكَ كَمَا عَلَّمْتَنِي. So every time you open the book, you'd be able to say the dua of the Prophet, which is make me commit to my heart. Now that literally means to manifest it. In other words, let me love the Quran, right? I'm going to go through the key concepts of each surah. And hopefully you will remember them. So if I said Surah Al-Fatiha, immediately you'd know that it's a summary of the Quran. If I said Surah Al-Baqarah, you would know immediately it's the history of Iman. And that should just come out of your head. But also, I'll add a little bit on, it's the timeless answer to Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. So when you say, guide me to the right path, he says, read the rest of the Quran, which starts with Surah Al-Baqarah, right? Al-Imran, is manifesting the Muslim identity, or rather, establishing a Muslim identity. Nisa was manifesting the identity in a social atmosphere, which started off with respect to women or the rights of women. Then you have Surah Al-Ma'idah, which continues with that manifestation, but it also talks about the perfection of religion. You're all good with that, right? I'm hoping. You're looking at me as though I'm saying something alien, okay? So, Surah Al-An'am, what would you say? Although you say practicalities of Tawheed, you had where people made up their own rules. There were self-imposed restrictions. And we do that as well. We have self-imposed restrictions. God knows why, but hopefully we can get through that. Surah Al-Araf, anyone? Rejecting divine guidance? We got that. Are you good with that? Yeah? Okay. Then we went on, we skipped because of the month of Ramadan, and we went to Surah Al-Ankabut. Now if you remember Surah Al-Ankabut, there were 2 or 3, I think I put 3 things there. The first thing is, if you said anything, if you said, I believe, I love you, or whatever, it will be tested. It's human nature. Nobody accepts it just like that. So it will be tested. The second thing was, the human being is very, very fragile. I used COVID as an example, that a virus that we couldn't even see disrupted our lives. So much so that even today, many people work from home. So it actually took it to another extent. And the third thing of Ankabut was, if you're looking at sustenance and you're looking at protection, it only comes from Allah and nobody else. Okay, are you good with that? Right? Last week we did Surah Al-Rum, and I told you that Ankabut and Rum, if you recite it on Laylatul Qadr, and recite means recite, internalize, understand, apply, and teach, then you're definitely Ahlul Jannah. And Imam Sadiq says, Wala aqulu inshallah. I don't even say inshallah. So if I go into Surah Al-Rum, then you find Surah Al-Rum talks about superpowers. And the superpowers at that time, if you remember, we talked about the Romans and the Persians. It talks about any superpowers. It doesn't last. What comes up, goes up, will always come down. The second thing of Surah Al-Rum that we looked at was reflection. It talked about a lot of reflection on everything in life. Just look around you. The different colors, the different signs, marriage, all sorts of things of reflections. And finally, there is no excuse in accountability. There's no excuse that's going to be accepted on the day of Qiyamah. You can't say, well, I couldn't do this because of this and that. So that was literally Surah Al-Rum. Now today we're going to start Surah Al Dukhan, right? Now, Dukhan and Qadr, that's why you've got stickers for Dukhan and Qadr. They literally go hand in hand, okay? Although we'll do Qadr next week, inshallah. It just depends on what sort of time we have. But Ruma and Dukhan, or rather Dukhan and Qadr go sort of hand in hand. So I'm going to start with Dukhan. The focus of Dukhan, the first thing that it talks about is that Qur'an was revealed on a blessed night. Right? And we'll talk about the blessed night. We talked about what blessed means. It talks about Qadr. The ayah after that, Imam Ali said it may have referred to the 15th of Shaban. So Qadr literally starts on the 15th of Shaban. Okay? But the moment you think Dukhan, you're thinking Quran revealed on a blessed night. The moment you think of Dukhan, you're thinking of comparison of Jahannam and Jannah. Two things. One, revealed on a blessed night. Two, there is a literal graphic comparison of Jahannam and Jannah. And it's very graphic. The Arabic language is beautiful. And the idea of the comparison was really deterrent against desire or what you want to go towards. You good? Now, Dukhan means smoke. It's I know on your stickers, I know I put a black smoke because it was quite difficult to do a red smoke, but it's actually a red textured smoke, a dark maroon textured smoke. So if you're going to put Dukhan anywhere, when we come to the ayah, you've got a black one, put a red outline around it. So you know in your head that that's got a red outline. When we come to it, I'll talk about it. So first thing we're going to talk about Dukhan is that this surah is part of the Hawamim. There are 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. 7 surah of the Qur'an that begin with Hamim. And they are known as Hawamim. Chronologically, and if I can say revelationary in the order, they're in the same order. They were revealed chronologically together. The Prophet said, no prophet before me has been given a gift like the gift of Hawamim. There was a man called Abu Darda. And Abu Darda actually built a mosque. And when people said, Abu Darda, there's so many mosques here. Why another one? And he said, in this mosque, I want you to recite Hawamim. There was a man who came to the Prophet and he said, I'm going to go through he was an older man. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, my memory is going. Now, we might call it Alzheimer's or dementia, okay? But he said, my memory is going. He also said, my tongue has become stiff. It's as though I can't verbalize myself. And the Prophet said, the cure of this is recite 3 of the Hawamim every day. So anything between 40 and 46. They're known as the crown of the Quran, the decoration of the Quran. They're known as Rayhan of Quran, which is the decoration. You'll find in Quran City, we put lots of flowers around it. They're also known as Thamarat of Quran, the fruit of the Quran. You find a theme in Hawamim. I know I'm going on about it, but I need you to know a little bit. One of the themes in Hawamim you will find is that it starts with, it talks about Tanzilul Quran. There's a difference between Anzala and Tanzil. Difference between Nazala and Nazzala with a shadda. If it's Anzala, it's all at once. Tanzil means little by little. If it's Anzala without a shadda, it is all at once. If it's Nazzala with a shadda, it means it is bit by bit. And something you got to understand. So Hawamim has a theme which talks about the Quran being revealed bit by bit, and it always ends with something to do with forgiveness. How to get forgiveness. So you'll find that's a theme throughout Hawamim. It's the beautiful surahs. I'm a koji. I say that all the time. And my problem is, if you ask me what surahs I recite, I will say Fatiha, maybe some of the small ones, maybe the 4 calls, maybe Qadr, maybe Asr, maybe Kawthar, and then maybe Yasin and Mulk. And then I said, do you know any others? Yeah, Rahman at weddings. Oh, I forgot. And you say Hawamim, and you say, what's that? So 40 to 46, and for us of any age, I'm 66, so to recite Hawamim, 3 of the Hawamim, at least I know whatever happens in life will happen, but at least I know if the Prophet said it's going to help me verbalize life, that, Salam, how are you? So it'll help me verbalize things. And if you find children cannot verbalize themselves, then please recite Hawamim on water and give it to them to drink. It's not rocket science. Are you good? Okay. So hopefully I've convinced you that you will recite Hawamim. Okay, so this starts with Hamim. And the first ayah says, Wal Kitab al Mubin. Can you see the the tanzil bit about it, okay? Now we're going to go into 3 and 4, which says, Inna anzalnahu. Now immediately you see, there's no shut down the za. So immediately in your head, you know, it came down all at once. Are you good? Inna, what is in Qadr? Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil Qadr. Inna means it's all of us, the whole of the spiritual world was here to bring down anzalnahu. Who is it? If I told you, if you're all watching a cricket match and I said, what's going on? I don't have to say what's going on in the cricket match or the football match, because you already know it's the same thing you're watching. It means everybody knew the Qur'an was being talked about. So inna anzalnahu, we sent it down all at once, fi laylatin mubarakatin. Now, we're very good as people to say mubarak. We say barakah, Eid Mubarak. What else do you say? Mubaraki. Isn't that what you say when you congratulate someone? Barakah in the Arabic language is 2 things. One, something that produces more benefit than expected, number 1. Number 2, it ignites dormant things inside you. It starts them to grow. Again, I repeat, barakah is 2 things. 1, you get more than you expect. 2, it will ignite, it will start off something that was dormant. It will start it to grow. So this is a night when you get more than you deserve. It's a night when something that is dormant inside you will wake up. Many times people tell me that their children were taught in madrasa or workshop, and I gave them good upbringings, blah, blah, whatever, all the rest of it. But now they're older, they don't want to believe. And you say, I can't do anything. They don't want to pray. You know, I brought them up to pray. They're doing all these funky things. In fact, they're asking so many questions, especially now the questions on Imam Zamana, and they don't believe. But you know what? This is the night to ask, because that what you have taught them is dormant. It's there. It's not going to go anywhere. And it will come out, and these are the nights to use it for. Okay, we'll talk about it later in Ramadan. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatin mubarakatin inna kunna mundhirin. We're the ones who, now mundhirin comes from warning, but who gives you a warning? It's mom who's going to say, if you don't brush your teeth, you'll have to go to the dentist. If you don't look after this or that or whatever, it's you. You know, at the end of the day, it's only one who loves you. So he's saying, I love you. That's why I'm telling you. So this surah, it has got a bit of warnings in it. When we go to Jahannam, we'll say, why is he doing that? It's more of a deterrent than anything else. Okay? All right. Fiha, in this night, yufraqu. Now, farq, we all know farq is when something is decided. You know, you find the difference between something. Firqa is a denomination, right? But farq is literally something that separates one from the other. So here he says, on that night, every single affair, amr is everything, whether it's your health, it's your wealth, it's your physical, mental, spiritual, whatever, everything on that night is going to be decided. Now, what is it like? Now, at workshop, we have an annual meeting. I'm sure all organizations do that. So we have an annual meeting in September. And I keep on telling the teachers, if you do not come to this annual meeting, then I'm sorry, your voice is not heard. Then we will put you wherever you want. And if you want something else, it's not going to happen. Because everything is decided on that day, how we're going to conduct the whole year. So it's an important meeting to attend. We also give them food, by the way. Okay? That's because Koji is like that. All right? So, but the idea is that every organization has a particular meeting or a particular day. Even governments do that, a budget meeting. When you will actually, if you're there, your voice is heard, right? So this is exactly, fiha yufraku kull amr, everything is decided on that night. And it's awesome that he's put it in the last 10 nights. It could be any of those 10 nights. Okay, I know we pay attention to the 23rd, but again, we'll talk about it some other time. Right, amram min indina. This is an order from us. Amram min indina. It is from us. Inna kunna mursilin. We are the ones who send it all down. This is nothing to do with the Prophet saying it or anybody else saying it. Allah says, me, I'm telling you that this night is important. Right? Okay. And then he says, not only is it important, I love this, because this is probably the best part about this whole thing. He says, Rahmatam min indina. It's incredible mercy from us. This night is incredibly merciful. If you pay attention to this night, God Almighty, I will give you whatever you have written down, right? You know, I normally talk about, have you watched Ready, Steady, Cook? Or are you too young to watch it? Have you watched it? So in Ready, Steady, Cook, there's two chefs. They get funky ingredients. They don't know what ingredients they will get, okay? So they get these ingredients, and they find out who will cook the best. Now, let me take me and Yasmin over there, okay? Yasmin's a really good cook. So say, for example, I got prawns and she got potatoes. So your immediate thought process when you see it is that, you know what, prawns are better than potatoes. But she made potatoes so beautifully, wagarilad. Oh, you're salivating, aren't you? Yeah. And she served it so beautiful with coriander and lemon. And me, didn't even clean the prawns. I just stuck them in a bowl, sucked them salad dressing, and I put it. What are you going to have? Obviously, you're going to go for our potatoes, right? That is what Qadr is about. Qadr is not about the best. It's having the ability to do what is best with what you have. That's why he says, Rahmatam min Rabbika. It's a mercy from us. And he'd be much better giving me the potatoes and her the prawns, right? Are you good? Okay, anyway. Innahu huwa Samiul Alim. And I love these words. Sami and Alim. He hears and he knows. So whatever you say, he hears. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Say, these are the days to sit and talk to him. Ramadan is coming. Chat to him. Tell him whatever you want, right? Samiul Alim. Okay. Right. Ayah 10. Sorry, I could have gone on about this for a long time. Fartaqib. Ayah 10 says Fartaqib. Fartaqib means wait in anticipation. One of the names of Allah is Raqib. It's number 43. It just comes before Mujib, which is 44. Okay? We'll do Asmaul Husna at some stage. So Raqib in essence is one who watches over carefully. Let me tell you how this means. Have you ever watched a football match? I watch it with my grandsons. Okay? So my daughter loves football. So when you watch football, every 2 minutes they're checking the score. Even if you're sitting down to eat, they've got their phones in their hand. Have you seen them? And they're checking the score. And they want to see who won, what happened. That's fartaqib. You're watching what's going to happen. Okay, you don't watch football. Have you watched elections? You see how many people come up and who's going to be voted in and who's going to be voted out and so on. And that's fartaqib. Fartaqib is watching carefully. So he's saying, watch carefully. Watch out for these signs. Yawma, of the day, ta'tis sama'a, when the heavens will attack bidukhanin mubin, with a red textured smoke that will be very evident. Now, Mufassirin give you two things. One, they say it's talking about the Day of Judgment. The second, they say, is a historical occurrence that was a famine in Makkah. So because there was a drought, there was a famine. You know, sometimes I see it on, if you go to a search engine and you put red sky, it will tell you in different places of the earth there's a red sky. And the red sky is because there's so much drought. You know, the sand is sort of everywhere. You see red skies. Okay. So this is basically, and most of the Mufassirin talk about the Day of Judgment. So he's saying your accountability is when you will feel like even the sky is not blue. Are you with me? I'm trying to put a different angle towards it, okay? So accountability for the human being. You know when you see a blue sky and the sun is shining, you say, oh God, I'm really happy. My daughter was recording du'as. She wants to do something on Q community or whatever. So she told me, why all these sad du'as? Don't you have a happy du'a? Isn't there something to say, I'm happy? And I'm thinking, oh, I'm supposed to tell her. People go to du'as only when they're sad, and when they're happy, they just say Alhamdulillah. That's about all I know. Anyway, so here we go. Bidukhanim mubin is your sky, which is what you look up to, will feel as though it's got drought, it's got famine, it'll become red. Are you comfortable with dukhan? Okay. Won't go too much into it. All right, now let's go to 17. Okay. You got 17 there? By the way, Dukhan, you've got a smoke there. I'm told I don't tell you where to put the stickers. So put a sticker there. You put a sticker with the dark sky in the night. You know, blessed night. Number 3, you've got a moon and whatever, and the black smoke. And then hopefully around the black smoke, you will put a red outline, and that will be your Dukhan. Okay. Now if you look at it, from 17 right up to 31, 17 to 31, it talks about Fir'aun and Musa. Now, I'm not going to go through each ayah, but I'm going to talk about each ayah in a little bit. I'm not going to go through every single word of that ayah. So 17 says, think about this. He's telling the people of Makkah, and he's telling you and me as well. To the people of Fir'aun, there came a messenger. Right? So the first thing it says, that's a test for the people of Fir'aun. What happened? An addu ilayya ibadallah inni lakum rasulun amin. What did he say? He said, you know, all these people that you're oppressing, all these people that you're using as your slaves, you know, let them go. I am only a messenger. Let these people go. Telling you and me, if there's anybody you're bullying, it could be your children, it could be your daughter-in-law. Sorry, I'm a mother-in-law, I know, okay. It could be your mother, your mother-in-law, whatever it is. Anybody you're bullying, let them go. Let them be. It's not your job to bully them. So, an atu ilayya ibadallah inni lakum rasulun amin. And then he's saying, wa alla ta'alu ala Allah. Do not intimidate me or divinity. Just because you've got power, don't sit there and intimidate me or divinity. Inni atikum bi sultanin mubin. I am bringing you some clear words. This is Musa telling him. Musa telling Fir'aun. Fir'aun is sitting there on a throne. He's like the, you know, the beat and all it of life. And Musa is this little guy as such. Okay. Okay. Wa inni. And he's saying, you know what? I know you're gonna stone me. Wa inni udhu, but I will take my refuge with Allah. And tarjumuni is, I know you will stone me. Now, how did Musa get this amazing confidence that Fir'aun cannot touch him? As we go through the Qur'an, you will see that when he goes up on the mountain of Tur, when he goes up and he talks to Allah, Allah tells him, don't worry, I will look after you. So he is already absolutely sure that he will be well looked after. So, the reason why I say this is that when you read Ankabut and Rum, be absolutely sure you will be Ahlul Jannah. No doubts, not whatsoever. Read, memorize, or internalize, understand, apply, and teach. That's how we're doing it. Okay. Wa illam tu'minu. And if you don't believe me, fa'tazilun, then leave me. Just leave me alone. And he knows that they can't do anything to him. Okay. فَدَعَا رَبَّهُ. Now, when a prophet raises his hands, you got to be careful. When a madloom raises their hands, madlooms means somebody on whom you're doing injustice. When they raise your hands, be very careful, because there's none to lift them up except Allah. So, فَدَعَا رَبَّهُ. So he called upon his Rabb. He didn't tell his Rabb, destroy them. Musa is standing there and what does he say? أَنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ قَوْمٌ مُجْرِمُونَ. These are guilty people. That is his complaint to Allah. That's all he complains about. He doesn't say anything else. So he's told, enough is enough. فَاسْرِ بِإِبَادِ لَيْلًا إِنَّكُمْ مُتَّبَعُونَ. Leave at night with all these slaves. You will be followed. So he's told, you will be followed. So he knows. Okay? وَاتْرُكِ الْبَحْرَ رَحْوًا إِنَّهُمْ جُنْدٌ مُغْرَقُونَ. And then he's told, leave the sea to me. I'm going to come to this in a minute. إِنَّهُمْ جُنْدٌ مُغْرَقُونَ. They will be drowned. So he didn't know how they would be drowned, but he knew they would be drowned. Now Musa's staff had an on and off button. The on button parted the seas. If he hit it again, it would have closed the seas. But he's told, don't touch the sea. I will sort it out myself. Once you've opened it, I will close it when I want on my own. So when in 2662, he says, Kalla inna ma'ya rabbi sayahdin, my Rabb will guide me. He didn't know how, but he knew he would. You good? So anything in the Qur'an that you and I read is a statement of fact. We don't know how, but we know it will happen. I'm going to go back. 8:33, do you remember? I will not punish those who do istighfar. So when those angels come to you and me in the grave, and they say, hello, this is what you did. Sorry, 08:33. I did istighfar standing, sleeping, sitting, whatever. You can't touch me. Oh, come on, have some confidence, okay? All right, good. All right, 25. Kam taraku min jannati wa. Now Allah is saying, these people who drowned, can you imagine how many gardens and how many fountains they left? He's just telling you what they left behind. وَزُرُوءٍ وَمَقَامٍ كَرِيمٍ. And all these wonderful houses. Maqamin kareem means beautiful houses. Zuru'in means all these farms and whatever they had, right? وَنِعْمَةٍ, all these blessings. كَانُوا فِيهَا فَاكِهِينَ, which made them so happy. كَذَلِكَ وَأَوْرَثْنَاهَا قَوْمًا آخَرِينَ. And these were given up to another people. They say that before a human being becomes ill, they have 1,000 different problems. When they become ill, they only have one problem. Right? These people, when they're drowned, when they're killed, you remember the Egyptian army was an army of elite. They were the elite. If you got into the Egyptian army, then you were very, very elite. You had everything in life. So here Allah is actually pointing out, you think you're elite. What are you going to do with all this? It's all going to be left behind. Right? فَمَا بَقَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّمَاءُ. And the heavens will not cry, neither will the earth. وَمَا كَانُوا مُنذِرِينَ. And nobody will even care about them. So you can see the comparison here of Fir'aun, who had so much, and his elite army, and then you can look at Imam Hussein. And we all know how the heavens and the earth cried for 40 days, and how much you and I cry after 1400 years, right? So, وَلَقَدْ نَجَّيْنَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ, and we saved the people of Israel مِنَ الْعَذَابِ الْمُهِينَ, from the punishment that put them down, okay? From Fir'aun, إِنَّهُ كَانَ عَالِيًا مِنَ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. From Fir'aun, now, not only did he was he arrogant, but he always went OTT, which tells you and me not to go OTT, right? Not to do asraf. Are you good? There's a lot of story. Musa and Fir'aun comes a lot of times, by the way. All right, now we come to, oh, I love this, 37. So you've got a picture of Musa that you will put near 2021, and then you've got a picture of Fir'aun, which you'll put near 31, 32 in your stickers, right? You can actually put them standing there. Now you got Tubba. Okay, so let's talk about Tubba. He says, Ahum khayrun, were they better? Am qawmu Tubba, or the people of Tubba, walladhina min qablihim, and before, or those before them, alaknahum innahum kanu mujrimin. Now let's see who the people of Tubba were. Tubba were the kings of Yemen. And these kings of Yemen, in particular one was Asad ibn Malik, 1,060 years before the Prophet. Very powerful people. So they come to conquer Yathrib. Yathrib was what Medina was. There's a story, you got to listen to it. Okay, it's really beautiful. So they come to destroy Yathrib. And the people of Yathrib tell him, you know what, we get it. You can take over this land. But we know one thing, that the last prophet is going to come here. Remember, the people from Palestine, the Bani Israel from Palestine actually moved to Yathrib because they knew that the last prophet would come there. They built those forts. You know, Khaybar, you have those forts? Because they knew the last prophet, just like you and me know Imam Zaman Ajalallahu Faraja will come. And therefore we've built all these different organizations to hand over to him. Why did the Jews of Medina then not accept the prophet? Because he wasn't a Jew. That is why we're told if he's not a Khoji, and he won't be a Khoji, by the way. Okay. You know that, don't you? Imam Zamana will not be a Khoji. You good with that? You are. You allow him into the mosque. You make him a member of the mosque. Right? Okay. So he's not going to be Khoji. Okay. As long as we establish that. The Jews didn't accept him because he wasn't a Jew. But they'd all come there. So they told these kings of Yemen, the last prophet will come here. And the guy was so amazing, this king, that he left somebody from his progeny, Shamun. He says, I wish I could have stayed, but I have to go back and look after my country. So I'm going to leave you here, and I'm going to give you a letter to give to the Prophet when he comes. Make sure this letter goes from generation to generation to generation until the last Prophet comes. And the 21st generation after Shamun was Abu Ayyub Ansari. Okay? This is where you remember Tuba. 21. So Abu Ayyub Ansari is the 21st generation, right? The letter is given by the king of Yemen to the person he lives in Yathrib, and says, you will give it until it comes there. When I talk to children, I tell them, leave a letter, write a letter to Imam Zamana. Make sure in your will it goes to your children and their children and their children, and say, this will go to him. Now remember, when the Prophet entered Medina, it's a beautiful story. When he entered Medina, everybody wanted him to come to their house. He said, where my camel sits, I will go. And Qaswa went and sat outside the house of Abu Ayyub Ansari. He was old, he could not see. But when he saw the Prophet, he could smell the fragrance of Nabuwah. And he gives him the letter, and the Prophet kisses that letter, puts his hand on Abu Ayyub Ansari, and he could see. Now, if you go to Istanbul, and I've been to Istanbul, and I hope you go there, you have the mosque of Abu Ayyub Ansari. It's on my phone, by the way, somewhere. I have it as my front, whatever. That is his. You can't see it, but I'll send you a picture on this on the group. There's actually just outside Istanbul, which used to be Constantinople, you have his grave there. It's phenomenal. The peace you get in there. It's off Abu Ayyub Ansari, right? So. Two levels in his house. He moved upstairs because he told the Prophet, everybody's going to come and visit you. You stay down. And you know what? Because the floorboards used to creak, him and his wife made sure they moved all their furniture right at the side so it wouldn't disturb the Prophet. There is so much about him. So whenever you read this ayah 44:37, just think of Abu Ayyub Ansari. He was a phenomenon. I can tell you so much about him. He was just absolutely amazing. The Prophet stayed with him for 7 months, as did Sayyidah Fatima. So just remember 44:37. Remember Abu Ayyub Ansari. You've got Tuba there, and you can put Tuba there, but please remember him as well. Okay. I've got a little bit of time, but I might go back to this if I have some more time. Right, now we're going to go to ayah 40, 41, and 42. Now this literally talks about the Day of Judgment, but I'd like you to look at 38 and 39. 38 says, وَمَا خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا لَاعِبِينَ. We did not create the heavens and the earth just like that. And then he says, مَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. In 39, we created them with truth. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Most people do not know. So why were they created? Ayah 40. They were created so that you and I could make use of them, so we understood who we were. Divinity knows who we are. It's to prove to ourselves. And when will we prove to ourselves? Inna yawmal fasli. On the day of fasl. Fasl is when the final decision will be made. If you are a teacher and you've got children in your class, there are very few children who will surprise you who are a D and then got an A star. Very few. You know which ones are good and which ones cannot manage, challenged, whatever they are. They may be good at something else. I hate labeling children as not good or whatever. But you know in that particular class what child is good. So Allah knows. It's for me and you to know. Inna yawmal fasli. Final decision. Miqatuhum comes from waqt, when the time is set. Ajma'in. So the heavens and the earth are created. So you and I know who we are. That's why you're told, know yourself before you are told who you are. يَوْمَ لَا يُغْنِي مَوْلًا عَنْ مَوْلًا. On that day, nobody you lean on will actually come of use. Hey, everybody will be worried about themselves. شَيْئًا وَلَا هُمْ يُنْصَرُونَ. They won't even help you. All these people you thought would help you, then look the other way. Because they'll only be worried about themselves. All these people you thought, oh my goodness, I raised them. I've got 5 children, I know. Okay. But you thought you're going to come to their help? No, no, no. I always tell my son, sorry, this is Kachi, okay? They'll bury me, they'll have the siyaka majlis. Oh, mama, I forgot to pick up the phone. Okay. So this is what it's trying to tell you. Nobody's going to come to help except yourself. Illa man rahimallah. Except those on whom Allah has incredible mercy. Okay? Incredible kindness. Innahu huwal azizur rahim. He is Aziz and he is Rahim. Aziz is awesome. So here there's a message for me and you. It's telling you and me, you want rahmah from him, you want help from him, then make sure you help other people with incredible kindness. It's all about kindness, 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 how you deal with people, right? Okay. Right, now we've got a comparison. Jahannam is ayah 43 to 50 and Jannah is ayah 51 to 57. So you've got scales there which will go on 40, 41, and then you've got fire and a garden. So you've got between 43 and 50 you'll put fire, and 51 to 57 you'll put Jannah. You've got a garden there. Literally this comparison is so graphic that it tells you this is the deterrent and this is what you should want. Okay, so let's go over this. Inna shajarata zakkum. So it's telling you that there is a tree in Jahannam which is called zakkum. Ta'amul athim. It is the food for those who continually do wrong. Athim is somebody who continually does. Once, twice is okay, but just goes on and on and on and on, right? Injustice, basically. Kal-muhli yaghli fil butun. Now, this is very graphic. It's like yughli. I don't know how to explain this. Okay, let me try and get this right. Yughli is like something that sizzles. Do you know, if you put a hot pan and then you put oil in, if you do tarka, you know the tarka you do to put in your dar, you know that sizzle, that's called yughli, okay? So he's saying it's gonna sizzle when it gets into their bellies. So basically what he's saying is there's an internal punishment. Ghaglil hamim, it's like the sizzling of hot water. Not only that, خُذُوهُ فَأْتِلُوهُ إِلَى سَوَاءِ الْجَحِيمِ. They will be dragged to the middle of this fire. ثُمَّ صُبُّوا فَوْقَ رَأْسِهِ مِنْ أَذَابِ الْحَمِيمِ. And then not only will this punishment be inside, but it'll be outside as well. You don't have to look far today to see what human beings are doing to other human beings. You don't have to look far. Just open your televisions, look at social media, and you'll see what one human being can do to another human being. And this is telling you, this is what will happen. Dhuk, taste. Innaka antal azizul kareem. So you were the ones who relied on your status. You thought nobody can touch me. I'll be as mean as I want to anybody else. Inna hadha ma kuntum bihi tamtarun. This is what you disputed about. This is the stuff that you said will never happen. You thought you would get away with it, but you won't. It's a strong statement, but it's a deterrent. It's just like me telling... Okay, I'm going to give you an example which I gave a long time ago, but I'll repeat it again. I have a 6-year-old granddaughter, and she's phenomenal. So when she comes home, she tells me, Nani, I want to cut salad with you. But Nani, I want your knife. And I have a really sharp knife. And I don't give her that knife. I give her another knife. And she says, Nani, all my life I've wanted your knife. All her 6 years of life, she has wanted my knife. And then she says, Nani, let's negotiate. So we actually sit on the floor and negotiate. Okay? But the negotiations will never come to a fact where I'll give her my knife. Never. Because with my small thinking, I know that that knife is going to hurt her. And when she's 12 or 13 and I give her that knife, I promise you she won't cut salad. As a human being, I know that, right? Now here, my Rabb is telling me, be careful when you hurt somebody else. It's like a boomerang. It will come back and hurt you so badly that it will hurt inside and outside. Do you understand? And the reason why it's so graphic, it's for me and you to say, I'm never going to hurt another human being again. I don't want to do that. Just don't. Good bits now. Okay. You good? Deterrent. Don't want to go there. Now, this is where we want to go. Innal muttaqina fi maqamin amin. Those who are God conscious, they're in a safe place. Maqamil amin is they're safe. Safety is really important, right? You good? Everybody wants to be safe. Do you have alarms in your house? Ring doorbell? I don't know. Why? Because you want to be safe. That's why. Every human being wants to be safe. My husband keeps on threatening. He wants to go and live in Mombasa because of the weather here. The moment I talk to him about safety, he says, yeah, this is better. Okay? So it's talking about safety. Okay. Fi jannatin wa uyun. There'll be beautiful gardens. And there'll be fountains. Okay? Beautiful. You don't have to maintain them either. Gardener provided. Okay? Uyun, you don't have to clean out the fountains as well. Yalbasuna fi sundisin wa istabrik. They will wear, now I know it says fine and thick silk. Basically what it's trying to say, they will wear clothes that are light and clothes that are heavy. So kushali clothes and garna kapra. You'll get both, okay? And then mutakabilin. And go and meet them. So in times of celebration, you'll wear your funky outfits and you'll go and meet them. At home, you'll wear your galabiyas. I don't know what you wear, pajamas, galabiyas, whatever, right? So you'll get both of them, the comfortable ones and the ones that you want to strut your stuff in. It's beautiful. كَذَلِكَ. And this is how it will be. وَزَوَّجْنَاهُمْ بِهُورٍ إِينٍ. And we will have partners of them. Hurin in, and I know in the olden days, in the Ramadan du'as, the women wouldn't read Hurin in because I don't want to go marry a woman. Oh, okay, that's not what we're talking about. Hurin in means eyes that are hypnotic, eyes that focus on you, eyes that, I'm trying to put as much as I can with you. Basically TTC eyes. Do you know what TTC eyes are? Truthful, trustworthy, and compassionate. Have you noticed when somebody talks to you, if they're constantly looking at their phone, it doesn't work. But if they're looking at your eyes, have you seen a baby look at your eyes? It's those clear white eyes. Hurunin actually means the white is so white and the black or whatever is green or black or whatever. The pupil is so black that you can see the clarity. You know when somebody looks into your eyes, have you seen that? It's beautiful. No? And when somebody averts their eyes, you know they've got some problem with you, okay? So you will have partners who will give you total attention with truthfulness, trustworthy, and compassion. Are you good? Sorry? I am no comment taking the Fifth Amendment here, okay? يَدْعُونَ فِيهَا. And you will be provided with whatever food you want. You want burgers? You can have burgers and you won't put on weight. Chips, okay? Fruit. You don't have to have those horrible green kale drinks. Right? Whatever you want. And if you like them, okay? And then, لَا يَذُوقُونَ فِيهَا الْمَوْتَ. You will not even taste death in it. Why does he say that? This is actually a little bit of a sense of humor. إِلَّا الْمَوْتَةَ الْأُولَى. Except the first death. وَوَقَاهُمْ عَذَابَ الْجَحِيمِ. And there will be no punishment. Remember the Makkans used to say that, okay, one death and that's finished, no? Here he's saying in Jahannam, you will want to die. Can you imagine if you're sizzling, you just want to get it over and done with, right? But you keep on dying again and again and again. The injustice you do on somebody, it will come back again and again and again. Good time to say sorry to people before Ramadan. La yazukuna fiha al-maut. And he said the only first death they will be the death they taste. Fadlan min rabbika. This is a favor from their Rabb. Dhalika huwa al-fawzul adhim. If you want to know true success, that is true success. So let's go back a little bit. True success in essence is basically, if you go back to the whole thing, it's literally talking about rahmah. It's talking about how I treat other people. God consciousness, being kind. That's what it's saying. That's what true success is all about. Okay, 45, this is the end bit, right? I've still got a little bit of time. So 58 and 59. Now, if you look at scholars or people who have studied a lot, who are mega intelligent, and they have 100 names after their name, 100 letters after the name, sorry. Have you heard them talk? They talk ologies. And you look at them and say, what are you saying? And it's quite difficult. Have you heard a philosopher talk? No? My goodness, you get lost. And if you hear a scholar talk or you read their books, you think, I don't know what they're talking about. Now here he's saying, the greatest of one who knows everything is Al-Alim, Allah, is he not? He knows it all the ologies in the world, put all the philosophers and scholars together and they have nothing near the... But he's telling you and me, فَإِنَّمَا يَسَّرْنَاهُ بِلِسَانِكَ. This particular book, we have made it so easy for you, wherever you are, whether you're a child, whether you're a philosopher, whether you're anything, even if you haven't studied anything, we will make this easy for you, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ, so that you may reflect, so that you may remember, so that you may take its advice. Try to read Sahifatul Sajadiyah. Have you read it? That's from a Masoom, is he not? Imam Zayn al-Abidin's book. Have you read Dua Tawbah and Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq? Have you ever tried to read it on your own, except you come to the mosque and you follow them, right? It is hard. And yet it is from a Masoom. But if you try to read Qur'an anywhere, it just comes. And that is from Allah. And that is a Masoom. Yet the Qur'an, whether, the philosopher will find 100 different stages in it. I might see it as a straight, wal asr innal insana lafi khusr. So easy to understand. Yet it may have a lot of layers in it. But he says, I have made it so easy that whoever you are, that's good for you. Okay? You can stick a stick of Quran there, by the way. Okay? So, yeah, I'm going to come to that in a minute. Okay? Fartaqib. Fartaqib, same thing. Do you remember that fartaqib before that we went to? Comes from Raqib, right? Watch patiently. Wait and watch patiently. Just watch how things unfold. And for us, it's really important today, okay? Innahum murtakibun, because they're waiting too. So the things we see in the world today, the injustice we see in the world today, he's saying watch. It will get to a place, because they're waiting and watching as well. Watch and see how things evolve and how things will get better, okay? Are you good with Surah Al Dukhan? Now you've got some time. I've got about 4 minutes and I will continue with that later on. But I'd like you to look at your stickers that you've got of Qadr. Not only stickers, I'd like to talk a little bit about Qadr. I'll start it off and I'll finish it next week. And then next week we can even continue with the next surah. I don't know if I'll finish Qadr. Qadr is quite long. So if we're looking at the key concept of Surah Al Qadr, Surah Al Qadr literally is the awesomeness of the night of the revelation of Qur'an. I'll put it shorter. It's awesomeness of the birthday of the Qur'an. The whole of Ramadan, the fasting, whatever you do is in preparation for the birthday of the Qur'an. That's what it's there for. The whole of Ramadan is Qur'an, nothing else. Anything else is not there. Preparation at the moment that you and I do, whatever we're doing, I know the food and the chapri and the samosas and the which one is there. So you put it out of the way. So in the month of Ramadan, you don't focus on food, but you focus on the Quran. That's what it's about. So Surah Al Qadr is literally awesomeness. It is known as Sayyidul Layali. It is the chief of all the nights. It is known as Ra'sul Sana. It's the head of the year. I don't know that we've got it written here, but we'll find it. It is known as Qalbul Shahru Ramadan. It is known as the heart of the month of Ramadan. I mean, I could go on and on about it. Now, let's talk a little bit about Qadr before we go into the surah, because I've got 3 minutes, I think. So Qadr in essence means, I know you say the night of power. Is that what people say? They say the night of power, okay? But it's literally when a speck of divinity has sort of come down on earth. It meets with the human being and creates qada. Qada is destiny. I'll repeat that again. It's something you need to internalize. Divinity came down, a spark of divinity. It touched the human being. Remember we said Laylatum Mubarakatun. It ignited something in my heart, and the combination of divinity and the human being created my destiny. That's what Qadr is about. That's what the Qur'an does. Because the Qur'an is the word of God. It's His word. It's Him. Right? That's what He is. When that does something to your heart, that night is Qadr. That is what Qadr is all about. That's number one. Number two, it's a night of barakah, as we read in Surah Al Dukhan. Yeah, it's a night of barakah. The third thing is, what you ask for is given to you by the measure and the proportion of the capacity of the one who asks. I'll start again. Okay. When I'm given something, It is given in accordance to my, just like my granddaughter. Her capacity at 6 is not to have a sharp knife, even if she asks for it all her life. Definitely will come to her at 12. Probably won't want it, like I told you. But her capacity is not there. But that doesn't stop you and me asking for it. Doesn't stop her from writing down, all I want is Nani's knife. Okay? Doesn't stop her at all. So that's something you need to write. Okay? This Qur'an, if you look at Surah Al-Hashr, it says, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن إلى جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. If this Qur'an was revealed on a mountain, the mountain would absolutely shatter into pieces. So that Qur'an is something, the importance of that Qur'an cannot be, the whole surah is revealed just talking about that night. Must be something seriously important, right? Okay, so I'm going to go start just a little bit and then continue. I haven't even got time. I've got half a minute. Inna, indeed the whole of the spiritual world. We'll just do one ayah. Anzalnahu, what do you notice? There's no shadda. It revealed all at once. Fi, who means it? So they were talking about the Quran. They knew it was in Laylatul Qadr. Qadr also means congestion. There's so many different words meaning Qadr. Qadr also means, when you say power, it means strength as well. Congestion means there's so many angels, as we will see later, more than the pebbles on the earth, that they actually occupy a lot of the earth on that night. So Qadr is congestion. Qadr is divinity coming down, divinity and humanity meeting, causing a reaction which causes you qada. Qadr is also congestion, and we'll go over other meanings inshallah next week. Are you all right with that? And Surah Al Qadr is not something that I can ask you and say, you don't know it, but you know it by heart, hopefully. Yes? No? If somebody is angry, mother-in-law, husband, difficult, hold their hair and recite Surah Al Qadr. Mama, I want to comb your hair. Okay. Can you do that? All right, I'll tell you all the other benefits next week, inshallah. Can we have a Surah Al-Fatiha? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. So next week, inshallah, we will do Surah Al Qadr, and we'll see how time goes. Might do Quran City with you as well. Try and bring that in. There will be classes in the first 2 weeks of Ramadan, and they will be at the time of Darsa. Next week I'll tell you what time. I think it's 7:30, but I will let you know what time it is. The last 2 weeks are Laylatul Qadr as such, so we will try and prepare for that. Are you all good with that? But anything else I will put on the group. So please don't follow anything else that's told to you but what is on the group. You comfortable with that?